Hello, I'm Charlene here, and today I'm going to talk about what it means to be a content creator on LinkedIn. What are the differences? Is it good? Should you turn it on? What should you do? So I'm going to share with you why you should have content creator mode on for LinkedIn. So let's get started. Hello, I'm Charlene Tessier, founder of Strength in Numbers, and I'm helping you to attract ideal clients to your coaching business using a combination of LinkedIn and live streaming. And today we are going to dive into creator mode because many of those who are asking me questions about LinkedIn are actually wanting to become creators. And you might be wondering, what is this creator mode? What's the difference between that and sort of, I guess, the traditional or classic view? And should I turn it on? So let's dive into it. And we're going to take a look at my profile here. I'll go to actually, this might be better. So it's a little bit small, but there are a few things. First, we're going to just go down to where it is. If you can kind of see that, maybe I even get it a little bit bigger with this layout. No, it didn't make any difference. All right. Well, right here underneath, you're going to have your resources, and it's going to say creator mode, and you can turn it on and off. And you might be wondering, okay, should I turn it on? What's the difference? Is it going to make any difference to me? There are going to be a few changes if you turn it on. The first change you'll notice is that underneath your headline, which I talk a lot about, I have some hashtags. I talk about entrepreneurship, live streaming, virtual events, content strategy. Those hashtags, you get to choose up to 5, only appear when you turn on creator mode. So you can kind of use a few keywords that are going to help to better identify you. The other great thing that you get when you turn on creator mode is, a lot of people ask me, and it's not working right now because it's been on for a little while, but my headshot here turns into a little video. It flickers, and you can put a 30-second video there in that little headshot. And a lot of people would love to have that, and you can only have that if you turn on creator mode. What other changes do you have? Well, one of the other things that you can't see because I'm kind of in my back end is that this button here usually would say connections, connect with me. When you turn on creator mode, it actually says followers. And so the predominant button that people will choose is to follow you rather than just connect with you. Now, what's the main difference between a connection and a follower? Well, a follower is a person who can see all of the content that you post on whatever. It will show up on their daily feed, and they will be able to essentially be given your content. You didn't have to give them any permission. You didn't have to approve them or accept their request or anything like that. They just hit that follow button, and then they're going to start seeing your content on their feed each day. A connection is when you then ask someone, and you get a lot of those as well in your My Network button, and people will ask you to either accept or ignore, right? And then if you don't accept it, then they won't see your content on their feed. So a follow is very great. It's a great way to start building an initial connection without them having to even get that connection agreement going, because they can then start to build a relationship with you. And you can do that without me having to essentially accept them. The other thing that you'll notice is you get to see also how many followers you have, not only how many connections you have. And that's just under your name and just above that button there. What other things are different? Well, the other thing that changes is this featured section actually gets kind of moved up in this mode. It's available and presented to you in the classic mode as well, but it is actually higher ranked or higher positioned just by the design layout. I don't control these boxes. I cannot move them around. LinkedIn moves them around for me. So the feature section is up higher. And for me, I really like having that feature section up higher because I use my banner to point down to that feature section, and I give my free resources and free gifts. And if you would like to grab one, I've got tons of them there for you. It's just more prominent for you and easier for you to grab. The other thing you'll notice is in the activity section is it's going to start showing your posts rather than your engagement. So every time you post, that will appear there. So it's kind of front and center on your profile page. Now, is this good and is this bad? Depends. If you are wanting to post and become a content creator on LinkedIn who essentially really wants to build your personal brand there, and especially as coaches, we generally have kind of a very strong personal brand that people come to us for coaching because they really want to engage with us. And so being a content creator on LinkedIn and turning on that content mode will essentially present that as kind of your image or brand. But the one downside I would say is that if you do turn it on, but you don't produce content twice a week, once to twice a week on a very regular basis, it's going to look kind of sparse and it might not be as putting your best foot forward as if you essentially put on the traditional mode. So you really want to weigh the pros and cons of that. Same with the featured section. You don't want to have it empty. You really want to have something there. It's really there for you to feature yourself and your brand. So you want to create that lead magnet or write a really engaging article. And you can post an article there too. It doesn't have to be a lead magnet, but you want to give something really good to showcase yourself. The other benefit of having creator mode on is it also unlocks when you have enough connections and followers is the newsletter mode where you can send newsletters directly from LinkedIn and they will be emailed to those who have chosen to receive them into their inbox. And the other thing is live streaming, which I really, of course, encourage. And live streaming for me has just been really amazing in building my connection and relationships with my audience. Not a super big fan of newsletters, to be honest. I don't feel I get much benefit from that. The main reason is because LinkedIn controls the email addresses. I don't see whose email addresses and whatnot are on my letter. I haven't really gotten the double opt-in permission to do that. And I prefer to really control that myself using my own email provider like ConvertKit or MailChimp and using that rather than relying on a third party like LinkedIn where I don't have very much control over. However, unlocking this live stream mode, that is really what you want, and it's going to really help you to grow and build your business. If you are looking for tips on getting started with live streaming on LinkedIn or live streaming on general, then you want to check out and follow me on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And I will hopefully be able to see you again soon. Have a great day.